So, with recent market developments, I thought it would be important to uh, have another discussion on VIX. And if you missed my first video, or my more recent video where I discussed VIX, make sure you go check that out. I discussed, how traders and investors alike can use VIX to their advantage. And I'm going to touch a bit on that in this video. But if you're new to this channel, thank you for being here. Hope you stick around. Please be sure to subscribe, like, share, whatever you feel compelled to do. I'm grateful for your audience. And for those of you that are returning, uh, grateful that you're sticking through this thing with me. And if you guys have any suggestions on content, any charts that you want me to check out and give some thoughts on, please leave those in the comment section and I'll be happy to do that. Another thing, one more quick announcement before we get into the subject of the video, or the content of the video. I just released a new course with By the Hood University. It's called Price Action and Practical Psychology, but we also dubbed it God Charts and So Shall You. And it's a part two to the introductory course that we did early last year. So it goes deeper into price action and really hones in on how to use psychology in a practical way. We get pretty deep into the nuts and bolts of price action with um, many different things, including trend lines, how to identify buying and selling, just many different things that are useful in your journey to learning to read charts. And so that the link for that course and the introduction course are listed in the comments or in the description box. So be sure to check that out. We have a bundle special going on. If you get both courses, they're $200, but individually, each course is $129, so you get a pretty good discount for getting the bundle. But if you have any questions about my offerings, feel free to message me, leave a comment, and also read the description box. But let's go ahead and get into the content here. So VIX, uh, you know, considering the more recent events in the news, um, of course, I thought it would be important to, take another look at VIX. We've gone into another month, so, of course, it's time for me to look at my monthly charts again to see how things shaped up last month and how things have been going over the past few months, and to see if, notice any trends or anything like that. And just really thinking about how you can approach VIX and your investing from this perspective. So this is VIX's monthly chart, and I already started, kind of drawing my trend lines before I did the video, and I kind of stopped and I was like, well, let's just do a video on this. So if I zoom out, you can see what the overall trend is with VIX, and like I tell people, VIX kind of trades like in a bowl or cupish shaped patterns, and it just does it over and over and over again. So even on the lower time frames, you'll see something similar to this overall pattern where VIX will form a nice rounded bottom and it'll pop up and it'll just do that sort of pattern over and over and over again. But the majority of VIX's price action, and what I mean when I'm saying that is uh, between the open and the close. So that price action tends to be mostly concentrated toward the lower end, and you just get these sudden spikes up, usually on some sort of catalyst sometimes. But so yeah, but let's zoom back in on the more recent part of the chart. So we see overall, and I'm going to draw this. So this has been the trend on VIX for the past, several months at this point. However, what I've noticed over the past several months is that VIX has entered an ascending channel. So buyers are down here in this area, and then the selling is up here in this area. So as you can see, so far this month, it is staying true to that. So last month we had, a lot of selling. It sold off from this supply area, and the markets really, really rallied. And then this month we're seeing that it's bouncing from this lower trend line as it has been over the past several months, like I've said before. So one way to use this, again, is, when VIX hits this lower trend line, is to, look at the overall markets and look at, the individual stocks that you may be interested in, and maybe consider selling at that point. And of course, and I say that, of course, because VIX trades inversely to or it has an inverse correlation to the broader markets. So when it hits this area, this is over the past several months. This is your time to take profits in, whatever positions you're in. Um, And then up here, it's time, excuse me, when VIX is rallying, it's time to consider buying. And I know it seems a little counterintuitive, because what we want to do is we want to psychologically, our default is to not be buying into this fear up here. You know what I'm saying? But really, this is up here is where you're going to get the best premiums. Uh, that's where um, that's where you really have a lot of upside potential, for whatever you're doing, whether it's trading or investing. And if you're investing in something long term, maybe you could consider, when VIX hits this area, you could consider averaging down on your position. So, or dollar cost averaging on your position. And so, so far, this pattern continues. So for me, on a more long term basis, I would be watching, to see uh, if VIX just remains within these couple of trend lines. And I think that, if VIX breaks this lower trend line, then maybe it comes down to this black trend line. And, I think there would be a strong possibility of that trend line holding. But so far, VIX has been holding strong above like 18, for quite some time. And um, that's for me, that's about between 17 and 18 is like a key area for me when it comes to VIX. And it has been, when VIX typically gets to that $17 area, it really pops up. So like I said, lately it hasn't even been really coming down to 17. It's been coming down to above 18, and just not even getting down to that $17 area before it pivots the other way. So long term basis, like I said, this is what VIX's trend is currently. Um, uh, in my opinion, it's too early to tell, whether like sentiment is really changing, but based on this current, how things have been going over the past several months, if this continues, then yeah, sentiment is certainly changing, because while it's ranging in upward direction. So until this is broken, it's really, really consider treading lightly, if you're bullish on the markets. And so, like I said, for this month so far, VIX is bullish, and we've seen the markets have been dropping after a strong rally last month. So at this point, I would be paying close attention to this monthly chart, and really seeing if VIX gets down back below 20, and even 19. And if so, then be looking to see if it breaks this lower trend line, at which point, maybe you could consider going long again. But for now, I don't think being long is the way, um, with how things are shaping up on VIX. So on the monthly chart, we're seeing a series of higher lows. So that's very, very important to pay attention to, because that's an indication of a bullish trend overall. So let's take a look at the weekly chart and see how things have been going on a weekly basis with VIX. So you see VIX hit this supply area on the monthly chart that I identified, and it came down pretty strongly as the markets rallied. Some things hit new all-time highs and things like that, but most of the markets didn't really get there. Uh, S&P certainly has not gotten there. It's gotten as high as four, 450s, I think. And it got to like mid 450s and failed. So here it started off the week right there at that monthly level, and it so far it's failed to break down there. So really pay attention, especially as we're entering the later half of the week, to see, where VIX closes in relation to last week's candle. So last week's candle opened at 2214, and another number that I pay close attention to is 2277. That represents, it was either 2020 close or 2021 close, but that's a really important number for me. So going into the end of the week, looking to see if VIX is able to close above that 22-23 range, so which is the open and the high of last week. It's VIX has already hit a higher high this week at 2478, but wasn't able to hold that. But I think that there's a possibility that once VIX is able to hold that $24 area, then 26 will may come pretty rapidly. So with this being with us getting a reversal so far off of a key area, we want to be looking to see, in addition to looking to see how the week shapes up, looking to see if we get confirmation of a reversal here on the weekly chart. In which case, I will be looking to see if the price heads back toward 30. So notice also how VIX came into this area on a downward trajectory, and then it leveled out a little bit along this monthly trend line as well, and now it started uh, a gradual upward trend that isn't parabolic, so it's really sustained. It's a healthy, in my opinion, it's a healthy bullish trend here on VIX. So pay close attention to that. As far as the daily chart is concerned, same thing. You see it printed a reversal pattern right here at the monthly support level. And so far today, we got a shooting star, or an inverted hammer, whatever you want to call it, for today's price action. So going into tomorrow, we may see like uh, a relief rally type situation where, maybe the bears take their foots off of the bulls' necks just for a bit, just to give them a little rest for a day or so. So going into tomorrow's session, knowing that there's a reversal candle that printed today, I'll be automatically watching to see if VIX fades for the day, in which will offer some opportunities for bullish positions just for tomorrow though, because like I said, on a longer term perspective, VIX is more bullish than it is bearish right now. So pay close attention to that. So I think that's all I can really say at this point. Tread lightly either way, because we know that VIX can do anything that it wants to do. But as of right now, VIX is bouncing from a key level on its monthly chart, also its weekly chart, and its daily chart. And so you definitely don't want to get clotheslined being on the wrong side of VIX. So you want to make VIX your very best friend. But I appreciate you guys watching. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to address them to the best of my ability. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.